Hey y'all, hey, I'm Annette Latigue. I'm your host here, coaching you for you, and I am back because although you could see the video, you could not hear the sound. And this is such an important topic that I was able to grab from Casey Moore, an inspirational coach and author who has written several books and who knows where he is, where he's going, and what he's doing. I've had the opportunity to be inspired by him, and I certainly appreciated that. I'm Annette Latigue. I'm your host here, coaching you for you. Thank you for rejoining me. It has been a difficult evening in that I was not aware, nor did anybody post that the sound was not working, but it is my location. And I do understand that. So I want to thank you, and I want to shout out first ladies everywhere. You guys have a tough job in a balancing act with the church folk, and your role as the first lady. So I just want to say thank you. You guys are doing a tremendous job. It's not easy. I recognize that it's not easy. And I want to thank you for committing to helping to spread the word. So, good evening. Our podcast tonight is about people who are determined to misunderstand you and why it's important that you recognize that they are hostages. Those who will gossip about you and will deliberately, and I say deliberately because they make a conscious effort to do this, misjudge you based on what other people think and say. They're hostages. I want you to know that. I want you to know that. The other thing I want you to know this evening is if you are fasting and still gossiping and misjudging others, go ahead and eat. Go ahead and eat. Because either way, the food that's polluting your body that you're trying to cleanse and the bad vibes are almost one and the same. Go ahead and eat if you're gossiping and misjudging others and fasting. You're wasting your time. So, one of the things that multiple studies have proven, and I'm convinced is a fact, is that people who are jealous of you will gossip about you and misjudge you. It's jealousy. The root of misjudgment and gossip is jealousy. And the other thing I want you to know is that when you misjudge and gossip about people, maliciously trying to hurt them and destroy their reputation, you're revealing your true character. You're revealing your weaknesses. Remember that. You might want to think twice about that because you're revealing who you actually are. And so, jealousy is not good for anybody. And if you have a jealous spirit, you might want to get some help for that and cut all that nonsense out. So, I have 10 tips for you tonight and a few examples. And again, my name is Annette Latigue. I'm your coach here I'm your host here at Coaching You For You. And I want to thank you for joining us this evening. Welcome back. Tip number one, don't lose your cool. That's the goal. When they're gossiping about you, misjudging you, and they don't know you, and they're feeding off the energy of other people, they're hostages. Don't lose your cool. That's what they expect. The second thing is don't react to shots fired. They will lie on you and create situations that never existed. And the thing about people who attempt to destroy your reputation, because that's what other people think of you, your character is what you actually do. Don't forget that. It's what you do that matters. Your reputation will sometimes precede you and based on what others say. But adults, real adults who are adulting, will always try to get to know you in spite of what others say. But I said adulting. That's the key word. Adulting. Everybody's not adulting. So don't respond to shots fired. They want that too. They'll say the most heinous things about you. They'll create stories about you that will sometimes even fascinate you because it's so nuts. Don't be fascinated. Don't feed into it, and don't feed hostages. They're hostages. People who believe will gossip and misjudge you based on what other people say are hostages. I know a few hostages. I even dated one after I became a widow, a real hostage. I don't think they knew it though. Don't react to shots fired. Let them, go ahead and do what it is they do and say what they say. Don't waste your time trying to dispute them or prove them wrong. People who are determined to misunderstand you, who have made a commitment to misunderstand you, are not going to believe you anyway. Why waste your time? Let it be. Number 3, let it be, let it be, let it be. If there will be an answer, and I'm quoting a song, let it be. Just let it be. Don't try to convince people. Don't try to assure them of who you are, because who you are is what you actually do. That's your character, not what other people say. And other people say a lot of stuff. I'm telling you, they say a lot of stuff. They will make things up. And here's what I want you to know, that the root of gossip and misjudgment is jealousy and insecurity. And people who are jealous and insecure, especially those who believe you know their secrets, they will lie on you. Don't fight back. Don't bother. Eventually, your character will show up and show out no matter what they believe. And if they're determined to misunderstand you and misjudge you, it won't matter. Don't waste your time. Be who you are. Let your character speak for you. I promise you, from my experience, strength, and hope, and this is what I'm giving you tonight, my experience, strength, and hope, it doesn't matter. Be who you are. Do the things that you do. Don't concentrate or fixate on others. Do what you do, and everything's going to be all right. People lie. Learn to be civil. I don't care how they act. You be kind and you be you, because people will lie in the face of truth, in the face of example, and in the face of facts. They will lie. And it will almost always never be a stranger. Strangers only become hostages to people that they let block them in. If you're blocked in, get out. Don't be a hostage to other people's thinking and thoughts, and don't become a hostage gossiping and lying on people. Okay? Don't do it. It's not worth it. That karma bus going to pull up on you sooner or later. You won't escape it. If you think that you can misjudge, mistreat, misrepresent others based on what you think or what somebody's told you, karma bus going to pull up on you soon. And when it does, all you got to do is watch social media. They start crying, foul, 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 foul. But for years, you lied on and misrepresented others. Then you're being misrepresented and you don't understand it. I don't wish you any harm, but I wish you the day and the time that you deserve. And I don't care who you are. Don't try to change them. We talk about self-care. Self-care is important. And part of self-care is understanding that your reputation is what other people think and believe based on what they think, and not your character, which is the real deal. That's what you do. They're going to misrepresent, misjudge, lie, cheat, steal, and do everything else, no matter what, because that's who they are. Let them be who they are. You don't have any control over that. Don't try to change them, and don't try to convince people otherwise. I've had people walk up to me and say, "Oh, I heard so-and-so," and I tell them quick, I don't want to hear it. Do you know them? If you don't know them, don't share anything with me about them. And if it doesn't concern me, what doesn't apply, let it fly. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in your business. Excuse me, allergies. I learned a long time ago to mind my business, moisturize my feet, hydrate, and take care of myself. Never been happier. You know, I have one thing that plagues me on a regular basis, and that's allergies, and you can't control that. You can't. Don't waste your time. Don't get involved in their drama. You know, gossips and people who are jealous and unhappy and lack self esteem, they love drama. They love drama. And when you run up on those wounded warriors, those warriors who are not getting any help, they're going to wound you. I know one. They're going to wound you. I know one very well. And I don't care what they say, what they think, how smart they think they are. Wounded people wound other people if they're not getting help. Be mindful of that. Mindfulness is important too. Self care is important. Self care is recognizing that other people don't get to determine who you are. You do. Be in touch with that. Don't let other people impact your self confidence. Don't let them determine how you feel about you. Don't. You're a hostage then. When you let other people's thoughts and feelings based on what they don't know impact you, time to take a second look. So be who you are. Understand that your reputation is what people think. Practice self care. I talk about self care all the time because it's critical to your success and it's critical to how you feel and think about things. Practice self care. Know your boundaries. You know, sometimes we let boundaries slip because we want to go along and get along. Don't go along and get along that much. Know your boundaries, keep them, protect them, and compromise where you need to. You know, in relationships with families, with friends, you know, in doing business, when and where you absolutely need to, and it's in the best interest, you know, and it works for you, do it. What I don't, my experience, strength, and hope has taught me, don't ever compromise who you are. Because when you do that, you allow other people to steal your identity and to determine what your identity is based on what they're feeling and thinking. That's not healthy for you. Certainly ain't healthy for them. You know, unhappy people are going to be unhappy. Jealous people are going to be jealous. I'm telling you, you cannot change them. You cannot control them. The only person you can change and control is yourself. Work on that. Focus on yourself. You know, provide for yourself. Be good to yourself. Practice mindfulness. If you find yourself gossiping, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Surely you don't believe in any sense of reality that you are going to be able to misrepresent, misjudge, attempt to destroy the character of, you know, the reputation. You can't destroy the character because that's what they do, but attempt to destroy the reputation of others, that's coming back to you. I'm watching some of y'all right now, and I don't wish you any harm, but I do wish you, and I don't care who you are, the day and the time that you deserve, the same as I'm going to get, the day and time that I deserve. We're all going to get it. No harm, what you deserve. Have a good day. Have the day you deserve. You're no different. People will typically lie on you, create things about you, misjudge you when you know their secrets. I'm a witness. I'm sharing my experience, strength, and hope. I had a family in the Mercer County area work hard. They did a good job, actually, in attempting and working to destroy my reputation. That karma bus rolling up on them now, and the secrets I know will go with me to the grave. But you're going to pay for the things that you've done, just as I am, just as everybody else is. You will not get away with some of the stuff that you've done. In one way or the other, it's already impacting them and it's going to get worse. How do I know? My experience, strength, and hope. Rest up. In dealing with some of these gossipers and misjudgers, you need to be rested because an unrested mind presents for all inappropriate reactions. Get your rest. You know, um, when I was, before I was retired, you know, one of the things that was important to me was getting my rest. And getting my rest was important because I knew I was dealing with barracudas and snakes and gossips and misjudgment and everything else. When you misjudge others, when you gossip about others, you're revealing your true character. Ha! Didn't know that, did you? You didn't know that when you misbehave, you're just revealing who you are. You know, if you're in a circle of people who constantly gossip about other people, get out of that circle. My circle's so tight, baby, sometimes I squeeze myself out because I am mastering peace for the masterpiece that God created in me. I'm mastering my peace. I'm not trying to control anything, anybody, or anything else. And so, when you know people's secrets, when you're successful, when you're doing well, keep your business to yourself. Because when you don't, and when you think that you're being transparent, you're attracting people who will misjudge you, who will gossip, who will lie, who will create situations about you. They will even swear and testify that that is, what they're saying is in fact true. Here's what I can tell you from my experience, Strength and Hope. Don't let anybody tell you anything. Watch people, just watch them, see what they do. Don't worry so much about what people say. People are going to say things, they're going to say things. It's okay. We cannot control other people. I don't even try. I don't even try. What people determine, and when they're determined to misunderstand, they're going to do that. Watch those people who are always telling you stuff about other people because they're telling other people stuff about you too. I didn't make that up. That happens to be a fact. Since you were a kid, somebody told you a dog that brings a bone will carry it, and they will. And usually, when people are gossiping and misrepresenting others, they're doing it to protect their secrets. They're doing it to get attention. They're doing it to, boost their self esteem. I've had people walk up to me and say things about people they never even met. And I said, How do you know that? Why would you say that? They go, oh, you always have to examine everything. I do my homework, I do my research. You cannot walk up to me and tell me about somebody you don't know, let alone somebody that you do. You got a problem with somebody, go tell them. I always told a friend of mine, you telling me, did you tell them? Because I can't help you with what you're feeling because it's about them. Talk to them. And most people don't want to do that. Most people don't want to be fair. Most people don't want to have the conversation with people that they think they have a problem with. They don't. They're not adulting. When you're in a winner's circle, baby, and you see people adulting, here's what they're talking about. They're talking about how to build their business. They're talking about how to travel more and get to know different people, places, and things. They're talking about some of the struggles they've had and, asking for suggestions about how to handle them. They're talking about their dreams. They're talking about how they want to meet those dreams. I'm talking about when you're in a winner's circle, when you're in I don't want to say loser, but when you're in a gossip, okay, losers, when you're in a loser circle, they're talking about other people. They're talking about what other people don't do. Rarely do they talk about what they're doing. Rarely will they talk about, what they need to improve. Rarely. In a winner circle, winners talk about things, where they failed, because we all fail. In some way, form, or fashion, we all fail, and we move forward and we lean forward and we have an opportunity to learn when we fail if we're willing to learn. We've got to be willing to learn. If we're willing to learn, we can learn a whole bunch when we fail. So we all fail at some point in time. Don't believe everything you hear. Get to know people. Give folks a chance. When you see couples, getting it done and working it out, find out how they're doing it if they have some experience in it. Find out, from people who have experience in success, experience, not thoughts, experience. Find out how they're doing that. That's what they do in winner's circle. You can tell the difference between your circle, a winner's circle and a loser's circle, based on simply how they move. Not what they say, how they move. How they moving. If they're in a circle and they're gossiping all the time and they're misrepresenting people all the time, they got some secrets. You know that thing where they say, "Oh, if in the news they're talking about this, look for the bigger story." Same thing with gossips, and people who misjudge others. Look for the biggest story. It's typically about them. It's not about anybody else. They're trying to hide their secrets. They're trying to hide their weaknesses. This is a hit. This is some change for your back pocket. Carry it with you. When you gossip and misrepresent people on a regular basis, you are actually revealing who you are. And I don't care how much you try to hide it, you're revealing exactly who you are. And people who are not sitting in that circle and see your behavior, your bad behavior, your misrepresentation of others, your misjudgment, your gossip, you're revealing yourselves to them. I know you don't believe that because you think you're slick. You're not. When you misrepresent and misjudge others, you are revealing your weaknesses and exactly who you are. Exactly who you are. Do not attack people or gossip or misrepresent people based on anything. Don't do it. Character will show up every single time. I had this guy that I knew. I thought he was a decent guy and I believed in him a lot. And eventually his real character showed up. Never paid attention, never listened to, never wanted to hear what other folks said about him. I dealt with this person, and this has been with a male and many females, based on what they showed me. I don't care what other people say about you. It's based on what you show me. Because what you do, that's your character. What other people say is simply what they think about you. But when your character meets up with what's said, that's who you are. That's exactly who you are. And when you misrepresent and judge people unfairly, the bus is going to pull up. The bus is going to pull up. Here comes the bus. It's going to pull up. I'm telling you, when you do it, I'm watching it in action. And I don't wish anything on anybody, but I'm watching it happen. I'm watching it happen. And I want you to remember a few things. Number one, the 10 points that I gave you to consider are not exhaustive. There are other points for you to consider. I always ask you to do your own homework, to research it and find out. I've had people call me and try to tell me things that I allegedly said that I never said. And I'm telling you something, people will do that. They will do that and think nothing of it. It speaks more to them than it does to you. And don't hold grudges. See, grudges create anger. I'm not an angry person. I don't want to be an angry person. I'm certainly not going to let anybody else control how I feel. Forgive people. Forgive people and move on. But listen, don't feed hostages. You feed hostages when you start explaining, when you start trying to prove, when you start trying to convince. Don't do that. You're feeding them. And when you feed them, what you feed grows. What you feed grows. Feed the spirit of your peace. Feed the spirit of knowing who you are. Feed the spirit of what you actually do, not what people think and say about you. Feed the spirit. It's the spirit that you feed that grows. Don't let other people impact your self confidence, your self esteem, and your self worth. Nobody. Nobody. And so tonight I want to wrap up. I'm your host here at Coaching You For You. I want to wrap up and remind you to do your homework. Do your homework. Stop being a hostage. Don't be a hostage by letting other people determine what you feel and think about others. And don't become a hostage in misbehaving in that manner. Hostage situations are tough. See, I don't feed hostages. I don't keep them. I don't support them. I don't do anything for them. They're expensive. They get in your head and create all kinds of havoc. And I don't want you in my head. I don't. I got enough stuff all by myself. I don't need your stuff. Trust me, I don't. So, my experience, strength, and hope for you tonight is to believe in yourself, to believe in who you are. Do not let other people who misrepresent you and attempt to misrepresent you, because you represent yourself in your character. Your character is what you do. Don't let other people get in your head about who and what you are. Know who you are and stand on that and be comfortable in it and believe in it. Stay away from people who gossip and misrepresent other people. Oh, I heard he doesn't do A, B, C, D, and E. I heard he doesn't support his kids. I heard she doesn't do this. Stop. That's your insecurity and that's your jealousy about people you don't know. Stop. Be who you are. Do what you need to do, to grow you and be the best person you can be. I promise you from experience, you'll be happier. You'll be so much happier. Stay out of those loser circles. Stay out of them. And they are losing in those circles. And they're losing because of their bad behavior. They're losing because they're hostages. Don't feed hostages. Don't explain yourself to people who are determined to misunderstand you and misjudge you. Don't do that. Be who you are. Be the best person you can be. And in every situation, no matter how poorly people behave, be kind. It makes a difference. It matters because the bus is coming. It may not be on anybody else's schedule but the bus driver. And the bus driver is karma. Take care of yourself. Self-care is self-confidence. Work on your self-confidence. And the easiest and best way to do that is to like yourself first and to believe in yourself. Let's keep talking about it. I'm Annette Lateague at Coaching You For You. Thanks for joining me. Have a great evening.